you're going to want to pay close attention to this. Inside this video, I'm going to talk about 3 metabolic zones that reactivate declining hormones to quickly lose belly fat. Now, this is specifically designed for the hormonal condition of people who are over 35 years old. So for people who are in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, this information can be life-changing, because workouts that are designed to transform your body and lose belly fat, like P90X, CrossFit, and Insanity, these are effective workouts. They obviously work. They've been proven over time. However, they're designed for younger people. And the long duration of these particular type of protocols can wreak havoc on hormones for people over 35 years old. And a lot of the movement patterns are very ballistic, so they're not designed for people in their 40s, 50s, or 60s. So inside this video, I'm going to share a 3-step protocol that my wife Karen and I have used for years. Now, I've used this to keep my body fat around 10% or lower for over 10 years. And what I'll do is I'll post the progress pictures of a 10-year span in the comments section, because I know people will be saying, well, let's see your progress, let's see your abs, and let's prove that this works. I'll also post a few studies in the comments to substantiate any claims that I make in this video, so that you know you're getting information that's based on peer-reviewed scientific research. Now, if you're watching this, you're not familiar with me, I want to make sure this thing's working, okay, and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Hatzel. I'm the owner of Get Lean in 12. I'm a stubborn fat expert. I've been in the health and fitness industry over 20 years. And my wife Karen and I are grandparents. We actually have 3 grandkids. We have 1 more on the way next month. And when people find out that we're grandparents, they're actually shocked, because we look so much younger than our real age. And inside this video, I'm going to share the techniques that we use to stay looking years younger than our real age. And make sure that you're watching this, make sure you post where you're from, post your name, and then if you got questions, go ahead and drop them. We'll do our best to answer them. And let's talk about these 3 simple steps that you can use to reactivate declining fat loss hormones to quickly lose belly fat. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to prime. And you want to prime your body's #1 fat storage hormone, insulin. So insulin is a storage hormone. So every time that you eat food, even if it's just protein and veggies, you raise insulin levels. And when insulin is present, it's nearly impossible for your body to access stubborn fat cells as a fuel source. So you must flatline and stabilize insulin before you move or exercise. Now, there's 2 ways that you can do this. The first way is simply to walk for 5 or 10 minutes. So if you ate an hour or 2 ago, insulin is still going to be elevated. And when you go to move or exercise, you might have more energy from that meal, but you could potentially block the fat loss process. So it's in your best interest to walk for 5 or 10 minutes, which has been shown to stabilize insulin levels. Now, the second technique, which I think is even more effective, is to fast. So simply after eating, wait at least 3 to 4 hours before moving or exercising, or wake up in the morning on an empty stomach and exercise. You see, when you sleep all night, your body uses the glycogen from your muscles and your liver tissue as energy to recover while you sleep. So when you wake up, your energy levels are very depleted. Now your body's in a perfect state to burn more belly fat because your insulin is stable, right? So make sure, disclaimer here, don't do this if you have sugar issues, obviously. Talk to your doctor first. But the first step is you must prime your insulin levels. The second step is you must release hormones that are responsible for breaking apart stubborn fat cells. So when you use specific movement patterns with specific intensity levels and specific rest periods that are designed for your age category, you can release massive amounts of adrenaline. Now, you got to be careful here, because this isn't interval training. This is a lot different than interval training. Back in 1998, I placed first runner-up grand champion in the world's largest body transformation contest called Body for Life. And it had over 22,000 finishers in it. This was the catalyst to me starting my fitness career, and I used that doing a clean diet, obviously, and then interval training. But as I got older, my hormones started to change, and I had to take a different approach, because excessive amounts of interval training can cause severe adrenal fatigue. So instead, you must use specific movement patterns, intensity levels, and rest periods based on your age category. And when you do this, your adrenal glands will release adrenaline, because your body's fight or flight response kicks up very high. This is your sympathetic nervous system. This forces the adrenal glands to release adrenaline. That adrenaline is converted to catecholamines and norepinephrine, and that's what's responsible for releasing triglycerol from your fat cells into the bloodstream, where they're converted to fatty acids delivered to working muscles to be burned off. Now, this is me simplifying a very scientific process, but the simple way to say it is this is how you start shrinking fat cells. Now, the third step And the final and most important step is you must burn. Now that you have these fatty acids floating around in your bloodstream, you must burn them off if you want to quickly lose belly fat. And this is where most people miss the boat. You could suffer from a process called reesterification. And this is just a scientific fancy word for the restoring of stubborn fatty acids. So you prime your hormones, you release adrenaline. Now you have all these fatty acids floating around in the bloodstream. They need to be delivered to working muscles to be burned off. And if you don't burn them off, you could just restore these stubborn fat cells. So somewhere around this video, you're going to see a link to click or tap. And you're going to be introduced to a system called the Over 40 Absolution. And inside this system, I'm going to introduce you to a 12-minute metabolic protocol that you can use when you wake up or before going to bed that will show you how to enter all three of these metabolic zones. And it's especially effective, obviously, if you're over 35 years old, to reactivate your declining fat loss hormones. So I hope this helps you. Let us know how it works. Have a great day and keep going strong.